I'm really excited to share this deck with you today. I haven't seen it very much online, and I think it's a fantastic deck. This is the Falling Card by Jenny McLaughlin. This video will have both a review and then at the end a silent flip through so you can see all of the cards. Before I get started though, I do want to say I bought this with my own money. I'm not obligated to do a review on it. I just really love it and I want more people to see it. The deck comes in this bag, little drawstring bag. It's cotton, I think, and it does not come in a box. So in the bag, you get the deck and a small guidebook. Here's the guidebook. I'll go more into that in a minute. And then here is the deck. I'll first just tell you what I love about this deck, and then we'll get into the details of the cardstock. I'll show you the inside of the guidebook and then the silent flip through at the end. I bought this deck because it is non-standard art. This art is really scratching an itch I have for non-standard depictions of the tarot these days. And I've really been obsessed with the pips and having non-standard pips, but every single card in this deck is a different depiction than you're accustomed to. Now, it will have some of the symbols that you're accustomed to seeing in some of the cards, but not all of them. Some of my favorites, actually this Hierophant, I love it. It feels like sort of a modern depiction of where we go for information and who we think is authoritative. It's in some ways a little sad maybe. These are small, but these are like two monks and they're turned away in the frame. And then of course here we have our television and it's just sort of our tunnel vision at what we're seeing there. Let me show you a few other cards I really love. Here's our Four of Wands, and I just love the symbols of celebration. We've got like the bunting around the side, but it's almost like a bird's eye view of what we normally see in the Rider-Waite-Smith, with the huppah, and it's just a beautiful kind of look down into that celebration. I also really like the Nine of Wands. There is such a sense of being watched in this, and the wands are down here in the sweater, but because the person is made up of this window, but it also has eyes, I don't know, it's just amazingly creepy view of this card, and I really, really like it. I also really like the Nine of Cups. Let me get us there. Yeah. And this one, I just really like the look of it. So the cups are up here in his hat, they're bottles. Of course, he's got an umbrella because it's raining. I love all the stripes everywhere. There's just something about his mustache. So this one, I just really enjoy the art and the composition of the whole thing. Let me show you a couple more. I really like this Two of Swords. It just feels like an excellent depiction of being of two minds about something. You're just not sure where to go, what to think. I think it's amazingly discombobulating in a way that the Two of Swords is. And I really like the Eight of Swords as well. The swords are here on the cuff. We're sort of chained to something over on the side here. We've got this beautiful bracelet, but it's also, caging us in a way. Our eye is closed. I just love this depiction. And let me show you a couple of the pentacles as well. I really like the Six because it's really kind of nodding back to the Justice card. I think much more of a focus on the balance that's in this card because they're not actually handing each other anything, but we're seeing a balance between the two people. And if you look down here, they're actually also tied together. So it's more of a nod toward community that's in this card, I think. And I also really like the 10, this just cozy version of the 10 of Pentacles, this sweet little nightstand, the security that you have if you've got a nightstand and you can just sit with that little light. A beautiful depiction of the security of the 10 of Pentacles. Those, of course, are not the only cards I love, but I just wanted to show you a few throughout the deck. Let's get into some of the details. There are no renamings. All of the majors are what you would expect. The suits are what you'd expect. The courts are what you'd expect. Let's look at the cardstock. It is pretty much standard size. This is just, the plaid back RWS, and you can see the height is the same, but it's just tiny bit bigger. The falling card is just a tiny bit bigger than the standard size. Let's take a look at the guidebook. It is a small guidebook. You can see fits right in with the cards. It is full color. You get nice pictures. So you can see it's just a few keywords for each card. It's not like long explanations. One of the things I really enjoy is how the minors are laid out. You see we've got ace, 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 and ace. So instead of going by suit, this deck creator went with numerology with the rank. And I'll take you up even into the courts. There's the eights. Even into the courts, those stay by rank as well. The cardstock itself is quite bendy and very easy to riffle shuffle. The deck is fairly thick, but I haven't had too much trouble. I have smaller hands and I haven't had any trouble with it really. I really enjoy riffle shuffling this deck. The cards are super glossy, very, very glossy. I think you can see that there. And when I first got the deck, they actually really kind of stuck together and I was worried I wouldn't be able to use it. Because I like to riffle shuffle and because of how I draw my cards, I draw my cards by fanning them out and then, you know, kind of going with the one that's tugging at me. And when I first got the deck, I couldn't really fan it because it was clumping together so much. But all I did was shuffle it a lot. I used it in a ton of readings before I made this review, and just by shuffling it a lot, it's really not sticky anymore. So I haven't had to use like fanning powder or anything. It's just sort of loosened up and it's really nice to use. One thing I do want to point out are some inconsistency with the size of the type. Personally, this does not bother me, but I know that this might be something that would bother someone else. So I'm just trying to do a really honest review and point things out. Okay, so we've got an example right away. You can see that the size of the font on the Magician card and the size of the font on the Fool card are different. It's bigger on the Magician. And then additionally, this one's not as obvious as some of the others. The size of the frame where the art is not exactly the same either between card to card. So some of them are more noticeable than others. Like here's another example. Here where the frame is much smaller on the High Priestess and the font is smaller as well. Another thing that threw me off a little bit here, we have Ace of Wands, but then we get into the twos and there's no of. And there's no of until we get to the courts. Then there's a Page of Wands, Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands, and a King of Wands. We go Ace of Cups, etc. So you see, it follows a pattern, but it's like not quite consistent all the way through. And again, this does not bother me in any way. Like I do not care, but I just want to point it out for folks that may kind of throw you off a bit. I have really enjoyed working with this deck and the challenge of figuring out the cards and sort of the joy of seeing the cards in a new way. I also really like supporting a small artist. The deck was made without the use of AI. They hand make everything they do, and I really appreciate that in a deck. This may not be a great deck for beginners, but where I am right now in my practice and wanting this challenge and wanting to see new depictions of the cards, I couldn't have found it at a better time with what I'm looking for. And I've really enjoyed working with it. I really enjoy the readings I've gotten from it. The last part of this video is just going to be me flipping through the cards. I'll put on some music and just give you a couple seconds on each card so you can see all of the art. Let me know if you have any questions about the deck. Like if you liked the video, subscribe for more tarot content, and thanks for stopping by.